Why South Africans should support President Cyril Ramaphosa. We're no longer dealing with what's best for South Africa, but what's best for westernized democracies. The whole entire cosmos of the universe depends on us at this point. America has been compromised by Israel, or as I like to call it, the final boss, and God has anointed us as a country to deliver the final blow. I'm MrShowTym, and you are watching the Showcast. Welcome back to the MrShowTym Showcast. My fellow South Africans, we are... Now, some people might be thinking that World War III is an event like previous iterations of, world wars. World War I, World War II. I'd like to have you believe. I'd like to have you know that World War III is very different this time around. Okay, we're dealing with a whole different kettle of fish. World War III, evidently, comes in phases. Namely, the information phase. Infowars. Shout out to Alex Jones. And let's say the government tyranny phase, and of course the boots on the ground, guns blazing, nuclear bombs explosions. Okay, currently we're still in the information phase, where it's a war on information. They said World War III is going to be fought with sticks and over water, stuff like that. Nah, it's fought over information. Information has to be put in proper perspective. But before we continue, please join me in a moment of silence, because a few days ago we lost the WWE universe lost one of its iconic figures, Hulk Hogan. He was aged 71. Please join me in a moment of silence to pay tribute. Thank you. Rest in peace to the Hulkamaniac, Terry Bolega. He's been around even before I was born. Okay? He's featured, or should I say cameoed, in a few movies, namely Rocky. And yeah, we believe it was his time. Okay, he had lived. Okay, at age 71. Yeah, the WWE universe will miss him very dearly, with his iconic tearing of the shirt. The Hulkamaniac. What you gonna do, brother? Rest in peace, Terry Bolega. Now on to today's topic. Most people do not understand geopolitics, and I think we've come to a time where that needs to be widely understood. we've heard, Donald Trump insinuate false narratives about, how here in South Africa there's supposedly some fake false white genocide. And what you need to understand is, folks, there's a lot of these popular talking heads, okay? And I want to have you understand how is it that they came to be popular in the first place. Who is it that they serve? Who did they sell their souls to? I'll explain. Some of you may know who Rob Herself is, along with a lot of these news pundits. Okay? All these famous influencers. Have you noticed that a lot of them, they attack and they lead with this narrative of anti-Semitism? All of them, they're pro-Israel. That's because they sold their souls to the Agent Smiths. Who are the Agent Smiths? The Jews. Understand something. The Jews control everything. Every Fortune 500 company, folks, is under Jewish supremacy, under Jewish control. What am I talking about? Okay. From a South African perspective, have you ever wondered why South Africa keeps getting cheated from hosting these global sporting tournaments such as the FIFA World Cup or the Rugby World Cup or even the Olympics? Now I want to draw certain patterns for you to realize. When was the last time South Africa hosted any major competition? Okay, people want to talk about, okay, it's the World Cup, granted. The World Cup was done solely to, honor the late great Nelson Mandela, and rightfully so. Since then, folks, South Africa has been under attack. Even the Springboks can, they know a lot about that. The unfair biasness, us getting cheated from getting our rightfully deserved World Cup hosting bids. Remember when France pulled that stunt off to steal our bid in the 11th hour to host the 2023 Rugby World Cup in France. France happens to be a country that is friendly towards Israel. In 2022, now fortunately for us, we were able to deliver karmic retribution in one of the most fantastic manners, one of the most fantastic endings, by eliminating the host nation France and going on to win the whole tournament. In 2022, Qatar hosted the FIFA World Cup in Qatar, Doha, whatever. That is yet another country that is friendly towards Israel. And France also hosted the Olympics, the last Olympics. The United States is set to host, not only the Rugby World Cup, also the upcoming FIFA World Cup tournament next year. United States is friendly towards Israel. Israel rewards those countries that are friendly towards it. There's a Bible quote that says, "What's the point of a man inheriting the world if he's going to lose his soul?" Have you ever wondered how Dubai came to be this Mecca of the Middle East? Yeah, it's because they are those Saudi princes. They sold their soul to the Agent Smiths. Hence why there's a lot of economic development. They just installing these foreign investors to build. It's not a coincidence. Why not us? Why is it that foreign investors are pulling away in South Africa? Now, some of you can draw comparisons, links to South Africa's race unconstitutional race-based laws, of which I, MrShowTym, am against. As a supporter of the Democratic Alliance, the DA, I'm against race-based laws because it's unconstitutional, it's wrong. Just because it benefits blacks or people of color doesn't make it right. Yes, it is in fact a form of reverse racism. When I say to South Africans, let us support President Cyril Ramaphosa, you do not have to like him. I do not like him. I am in no shape or form saying that you should like or support what the ANC is, the scandals and the corruptions that they're engaging in. Absolutely not. Quite the opposite. Okay? I'm a DA supporter, right? But you know our issues in South Africa. You know what happened back, in last year's election? It's funny how God works in mysterious ways sometimes, and I'll show you how. I'm fed up. I'm spent with the Democratic Alliance, because you know how all of them, they just donated all their votes to the ANC and then having them win yet again in a very close election. The DA came so close. Understand what is at stake. There's one thing that President Cyril Ramaphosa has done correctly, and that is issuing charges towards Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, for his war crimes, genocidal war crimes in Israel. It's funny how they say there's a white genocide here in South Africa, but meanwhile there's a real genocide happening in Gaza. Perhaps it's not the worst thing that the DA didn't win, because people like John Steenhuisen, okay, they post on their Instagram and the social media for every now and then how we're gonna hold Lindiwe Sisulu and the DA criminals, the criminal syndicates, they post every now and then. Sounds very enticing, doesn't it? But apparently they're very weak because they donated their votes to the ANC. Why didn't they fight? Who has the same gravitas? Who has the same tenacity in fighting the ANC and saying that no, we're not going to donate our votes to the ANC. We're going to challenge us. We're going to fight. We're going to try to win the presidency. They caved. Even the Freedom Front, they caved. Everyone, a lot of them caved. We can be thankful. Again, like I said, the one thing that President Ramaphosa did is issuing arrest warrants to Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu. I don't think that John Steenhuisen would have done the same. There's so many pressures piling up against South Africa. Foreign investors are pulling out. John Steenhuisen, South Africa's supposed vice president, he would have caved because the United States said, hey, we will relinquish pressure, okay, if you drop the ICC case. Because that way, Steenhuisen would have probably gotten rid of the unconstitutional race-based laws in South Africa, thus leveling the playing field as they should. But the cost would have been catastrophic. Because understand something, folks, Israel should not go by unopposed. They should not. And with Steenhuisen as president, if the DA had won, he would have said, okay, we'll be friendly towards Israel, we'll drop the ICC lawsuit, and although our issues in South Africa would have been, better, but globally as a whole, the Antichrist would have taken over. That's something that I want South Africans to understand. Dear President Ramaphosa, whatever happens, whatever you do, no matter what happens, do not drop the ICC lawsuit on Israel. Keep that foot on their necks for the greater good. The Antichrist must not succeed. The Antichrist must not go by unopposed. Yeah, that's the gist. If you've been watching this far, thank you so much for watching. And remember, the Matrix has you. Follow the white rabbit. And don't fall for the psyops. Thank you so much for watching. Cheers.